he's on spectrum, like he has many sensory issues. So most often, like when he is told to do something which he doesn't like, he says my ears are getting hot. And sometimes he's totally fine. Suddenly, like I can see, like if I'm sending him to school, so he says, "Mama, my ears are hot." I just want to know how can I help him in that, because he's not totally verbal. He was non-verbal till 7, and now he's partially verbal. He can express whatever he wants. He can understand the commands and all. But now, if I'm asking him, he's just saying it's hot. I want to put ice.
Yeah, I mean, sensory issues are. We talked about a little bit before sensory issues. Bit more about sensory issues. Okay, if a child is oversensitive to something, so you can, oversensitivity can be different for different children. Some foods are oversensitivity. Some children are oversensitive to food. Some are to sound. Some are to touch. Yeah, and
Smell also. He smells everything. Like
if I touch him, somebody touches, he touches and then he smells.
Smells. Yeah. Yeah, so that's more like unusual interest in smell. Like instead of oversensitive, they don't like doing something. This is, he likes doing something, like smelling that thing. And that becomes unusual interest in smelling. But oversensitive first, that to some degree, you give that experience, yeah? Like you like the kind of music the child likes, just another or something, and they gradually we get used. Yeah, the brain becomes to get used to sound. The second side of that is you also maybe adopt the environment. Yeah, so you want to do things that your child finds comfortable as well. So you create a space for your child where at least for 2 hours a day, when he feels like that, he can have his own space and he can be relieved of noise. He can become comfortable, he can relax, he can become de-stressed. We all like doing that. We all like shutting our doors, switching off the light, yeah, and then resting. So maybe your child needs it a bit more, yeah. And life is going to be a balance between giving the experience and giving time for the child to relax and becoming de-stressed. So you'll have to balance that.
Question on speech in autism. If a child has good receptive, good following of commands, good understanding, imitation is also good. Even then speech production is not there, speech is not there, he is not working.
Okay.
What is the center area where we should work and how to help him? I mean,
Yeah.
only the speech therapy or anything is speech therapy and working with the child all the time. These all things are not working on speech.
These are?
Not working. I'm not able to hear him. His speech.
Yeah.
Speech part is not coming.
Yeah. How old is he now?
He is 5.7 now.
5 years, 7 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I want to come back to your question as well there about that. So there is time for speech to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it will improve. Because speech sound, making speech sound is also very, very complicated process. And speech sound, sometimes, only rarely, there is a problem about the way the mouth moves, the way the tongue moves, the tongue is too big, the tongue is too small. No. Usually it's not because of that. Usually it's because the way the brain is coordinating different muscles and sound production. So there is a problem in the speech. Yeah. Usually it's a matter of practice. Yeah. Reward, and to some degree just doing more of it, and it begins to correct itself. Yeah. So speech therapy, practice, holding your nerves, and it'll be fine. Third one is holding your nerves, yeah, and it'll be okay. I want to go to literal use of language a bit, yeah, because that was your question. Literal use of language. Yeah.
Right now, when you say kids some of them are oversensitive to certain senses, can it happen that a particular kid being oversensitive to one particular sense can be undersensitive again, the same particular
Yes.
sensory?
Yeah. It's possible. Yeah.
how would it work, and how would we actually differentiate if it's just actually sensory, or is just being a behavior, or something's making him uncomfortable maybe at that given time, or
Yeah.
for example, if my son's a little sensitive and a little scared to very loud noises, say specific things, the mixer grinder or the pressure cooker,
Yeah.
he's learned to cope. He's
Yeah.
just go into the bedroom, close the door.
That's
That's all. Until unless we're forcing him to be near that.
That's fine. Yeah.
And I took him out somewhere, and there was a big procession, drums going on.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was overtly bothered by the drums. In fact, he was showing some interest looking at that. And they were loud. I had to close my ears. He didn't seem bothered.
Okay.
So how did it work?
I'll answer that. So, in autism, the sensitivity is to a specific type of sound, rather than loudness of sound. Yeah. So it's not the loudness that they're sensitive. They're sensitive about certain type of sound. And why, I don't know, but that seems to be the case. Yeah, that's what we hear. So that is what explains why this is happening. How to help children's literal understanding or sarcasm. The one method that helps in that is the using social stories. Yeah, have you heard social story? You heard that. Social story meaning you can make social story. Yeah, and you can use drawings, pictures, whatever. Yeah, you can, in a short story, you can put in a joke, in another story a sarcasm, in another story something else. You can talk about that with the child. This is what's happening. This is what this means. This is what that means. Yeah. You can ask the child, about it. And so you get. There is actually, if you search for social stories, you find it. Carol Gray is the name. Yeah, she's the one who started using the tool social story. The name of it. So, but I think that and what we call exploratory discussion with the child. Yeah. So I want to just separate from your question a bit now and just talk about this exploratory talking with children. Yeah, which not just with autism, not just with anybody else, but with all children. Yeah, how do we talk with our children? Yeah? How do we do? When I ask parents, do you talk to your child? Yes, we do. So what do you talk about? We ask him, what have you done at the school today? Then we ask him, have you done your homework? And then tell me more. What do you talk about? That kind of thing. And they're quite lost. Yeah. How do you talk to children? And so after say like the age of 4 years we talked about, when children begin to understand how other people think. That's quite a good stage, And you can talk. I'm not saying you can't talk to a 3-year-old child. You can talk to a 3-year-old child. But what I'm saying is after 4, it's a very good point to you talk about how the child thinks about something has happened. Yeah? How the other person felt when this happened. Yeah? What the child or the person could have done. Yeah? Why something is happening. You don't just question. You say things. Oh, you think this is this happening. Do you think so? Do you think this happened at the school? What does the head teacher think? What she might be thinking with you? Or what does the other child think? How they might be feeling? Yeah? What would you do? So think about the words. Think, feel. Yeah? Try to talk about those, use those words. Yeah? In the way you talk. Yeah? You can talk about films. You can talk about cartoons. You can talk about anything, and you can use more of these words. Yeah? And you can ask the child exploratory questions, like that, more open-ended. Yeah? how did it happen? Yeah? How do this, or how do that, yeah? Rather than more what, yeah? Or why, yeah? You can use some why questions as well, you know. Why do you think this happened? That's also a good exploratory question. But I think exploratory, now coming back, connecting with your question with children with autism, that kind of talk is also another method of shifting them from literary understanding to understanding about others' way of thinking, yeah, others' way of feeling. So you need to learn to talk. You need to learn to talk. Not just your child needs to learn to talk.
We have forgotten that one.
Yeah.
It's more like therapist talking to a kid at home also. Do this, do this, do this. So we totally forgot about general talking basically.
So
So this is one important thing that you have told us. Exploratory talking is what is needed.
Explore.
There was a very nice article in the newspaper just about a few days back, which said that this is how we ask our children, how was your day?
Yeah.
And it's such a random
Such a
question.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes more sense to say that, to a younger kid, especially a 5-year-old, that which part of the day was the most fun?
Yes.
What did your friend bring in
Yes.
this
What
time?
did you felt
Yeah.
more
What
happy
what
and
did you
then
like?
what did you
No, what you did, yeah? What did you like? What was the fun? Tell me what was the fun, yeah? And you tell something about yourself, something that you had fun about. You ask the child to tell you something they had fun about. Very good, yeah. That's,
something
And they,
what made
all
you do
kids like stories, so you spin a story with them and you involve them, they immediately get involved. And like you said, you lead them to explore.
Yeah, you
And
lead
it
them
works
to-
brilliantly.
yeah, it's
Whether,
what.
Children with special needs or regular kids, I think it's all over, including us adults. Who doesn't like a story?
Who doesn't like story? I think story making, storytelling is a very useful thing. It's a very ancient method. We are good at story making, storytelling, and indulging in story making and storytelling with your children is the way to talk. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Mine is my son is 15 years old. He had a lot of health issues when he was born in the US. I came to Hyderabad 11 years ago. He started talking only when he was 3.5 years, full-fledged sentence, and he had a lot of delayed milestones in the way what I'm talking about from the birth. Till PYP, like till 3rd grade, 4th grade, I had no issues because there was no much of academics needed from him, and he's been going to Srinagar school, national school, and after like 6th, 7th grade, everything fallen apart because of his health issues. I had restricted on his like milk products, sugar, whatever the diet I. So his growth was like totally delayed by physically, height-wise and weight-wise. So suddenly he developed an interest in football, soccer. So which he is very good at it. And slowly what happened was we found out that his interest is not in academics. We started pushing him into that field. So he got very well, he got selected into a team from the school and he started playing it all. Now this has come up to a stage where he has skipped his academics and his focus has gone more on football. I know that he had a lot of problems because in US they diagnosed him as ASD, like autism spectrum disorder, because he was not talking and all those things. Now I'm feeling that that has come up with all more of his social interaction because he didn't get selected to a Germany club this year, and his very best friend got selected. He started depressing. He demotivated himself. He started saying, I don't like football, even though he's very good at it. Now I've come to a stage like how to even make him understand that whatever field he is good at it, he is excelling in football because of his not getting into team, because of his height and weight, of his health growth, this slowly going down. This child is going into a shell. He doesn't want to open up anymore. His interaction with me is gone. Even though he has been a normal child till now, in the sense with this whole difficulties, now it's becoming very difficult. I don't know whether to push him to academics or he's gone into a field where it is very difficult to be in India to get him into football. Even if he gets into, he can't go into high level. So and because of that, his behavioral issues are showing up. everything is not. I'm zapped actually. I'm like clueless how to take this child about his self-confidence has gone down. All of a sudden, it's like he says, I'm not fit for anything. I don't know. Academics also is like halfway. This also, even though he's got good in football, he says no. It's like I know he needs help. He doesn't want to take help. I don't know. I'm like I can't put him in any diagnosis also because it's neither here nor there. I don't know. It might be different from this. Whatever you're
I think it's a very, very good story actually. Very, very good description you've done, and there likely to be number of things. Yeah, because things are not just simple. One cause, one effect. Yeah, with people like human beings. I wish it was like that. One thing did one thing, then I would have known what I have done or not done in my life. Yeah, I don't know why I have done what I have not done. There are lots of things, but one of the diagnoses for your child is he's a teenager.
Yes.
Yeah? That's just one. Yeah? I'm not saying there is nothing else. Yeah, and it's not unusual. Very weird things happen with teenagers. Yeah, trust me. And sometimes you think, if this is the worst you're going to do, then I'm okay with that. Sometimes maybe you have to think like that. Yeah, yeah. You're a teenager, and if this is your worst rebellion, then thank God for that. You go like that. Yeah. So the other thing I'm going to say is there is a very nice book of Stephen Covey's book, which is a very popular book, 7 Habits of Effective People. Yeah? Everybody must have read them. He because I get ideas about children and parents from wherever, from parents like this, telling their stories, what they did. He gives one idea in that book, not about the 7 habits of thing, but he talks about his son at the beginning. And he talks about how his son, having succeeded initially, starts failing and all that, this and another. And the whole family is upset about it. Something similar in that story, and Stephen Covey's son's story. And then he says he thought about it. What do I do here with this? And he came to one point, and I'm only sharing his idea with you. And he came to one point that maybe I have to say, I don't have to constantly correct him, because if I try to correct him, that makes him feel like a failure. Yeah? So he got this idea that I have to accept him the way he is. And I have to like him and appreciate him and praise him the way my son is. He says in this book, everything changed from that point onwards. So there is an idea. Yeah? So I'm only passing ideas from this to that, that to that. And as I'm observing, as I'm experiencing, as I'm thinking and finding, I'm trying to connect ideas with the right situation, with the right people. But I think that